We're
Officially
live.
on.
Welcome. Chris, I
everyone.
just thought we need to hit record.
You know, I just thought the same thing too. So we actually have to record our own mics separately, so that way we can actually have a podcast when this goes live. So we probably should have done that already before we hopped on.
Okay.
Here, but hey, what do you
I
wanna
just
do?
hit record.
Did you? Okay, I'm hitting
Okay.
record now.
Okay.
Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's do this. That's how we
syncing it
kick
up.
things off.
Oh,
we
you know.
do a round of applause for ourselves.
And then we sit here and try to work out all of our technical issues that made us 2 minutes late. But hey, we're here.
Hey, we're earlier than last time we recorded.
Yes, by a long
So,
shot. A long
Yes,
shot.
we are.
We already
Yes,
have people
we
in here.
are.
Oh wait, who is this?
Awesome. So, welcome to everyone who's joining us live. Hello, La.
Is
La
it Educada?
Educada.
Oh,
Deborah
that's Deborah
Wasale.
Wasale.
Hey.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome.
I like how she had
Happy
to tell
have
us.
you here. All right. So well, I guess let's just hop into the episode then.
Yes, my hair is kind of messing up though. Okay, Chris, you're
I'm
up.
I'm so sorry. So sorry
know,
for
me
your,
too.
for you and your hair.
Yes. You don't understand.
No, I clearly don't. Okay. So last night, my wife and I, we found ourselves watching Step by Step. And I don't know if you ever watched this show. This is like
Step by step, day by day. Yes.
that's the show. We somehow were just starting to talk about like TGIF and growing up, how like that was such a big deal to watch these shows like Friday night, like the block of shows. And then I remember like, oh, Step by Step, where is it at? We found it on Hulu. We started watching it. And it made me think of the fact that when I was a kid, I was watching all these sitcoms and they have all their little one-liners and their jokes and all this stuff. And I remember being, I don't know how old I was, maybe let's just say like 9 or 10. And my family was over our house. And my aunt and uncle, they had left the living room. They weren't there. And we were all kind of the rest of us were in the living room watching TV. So I get up, and my parents' house is like a big square. So like the living room is here and you just walk around in a circle basically and you end up back in the living room again.
Okay, that's
So
how my
I
house
walk-
is.
Right? Okay. So I walk around through the kitchen and I don't know where I was going. Maybe I was just being nosy trying to find them or if I was just going to get something to eat. I don't know. But I walk through the kitchen. There's a bathroom right off the kitchen. And I walk by and they're in there smooching. They're in there kissing it up.
Oh, step by step really turned you on, right?
No, this had nothing to do with Step by Step. But I walk in there. I walk up to them like, oh, get a room.
You said that to your aunt and uncle?
I said it to my aunt and uncle. And it was a horrible decision.
Oh my god.
Oh, hey, this is Chris.
And this is Allison, and you're listening to This Is Awkward. And Chris, why did you have to go make things awkward?
I don't
You know?
I was watching all that TGIF and I was seeing that's what people would say to each other. When they saw someone kissing,
Get a
that's what they say.
room.
Go get a room.
Oh
And,
my goodness.
Yeah, they went and told my
They
parents.
did. They got a room. They found the bathroom.
They got the bathroom.
Wait, they got a room. Like you're all interrupting it. Oh my gosh. Oh, I hope they listen to this.
They probably don't. I'm almost 100% sure they don't. I have multiple aunts and uncles. That's the only reason I was safe to say this.
Oh,
So
okay.
they'll never figure out who this was.
Oh my gosh.
But they know who they are.
They know. I hope they hear it so they're like, "Oh my gosh, he remembers."
Oh, I remember.
Right?
And my parents were like, "You do not talk to adults." Like that."
I cannot imagine like my kids or my nephews. Like, no. Oh
Can
my
you imagine
gosh.
that?
No.
Oh, it was you just repeat what you hear on TV. That's what you do. People are making out. You say, "Go get a room."
That is.
And everyone laughs, and the laugh track comes in. The studio audience laughs, and they go.
So,
"Ooh."
where was your laugh track?
it was a yelling track, and my parents getting angry at me. So yeah, but don't do that, kids. Don't do that.
No, but I'm glad you made it awkward. You made it awkward. I love that you have this awkward story to share. And that's what we do here. We share awkward moments. Mostly we focus on your awkward money moments that you have with friends and family. And our goal here is to just kind of help guide you along so that way you don't lose your friends and family in the process of dealing with these awkward money moments.
Yeah, and if you want to be a part of our show, please do. We're asking you because you're the best part of what we do here on This Is Awkward. You can give us a call at 707-200-8259. and just leave us a voice message and say, hey, this is what's going on. This is a weird, awkward situation. I caught my aunt and uncle making out. And
No, we want money. Hold
sorry,
on.
money.
Stop. Hold on. We're going to get a flood of voicemails. No. Let's clarify. We want to hear your awkward money situations. Anything that has to do with
yes.
money.
That's what we
Chris,
do here.
that's what
Got
we
it.
do here. So,
Okay.
or if you are uncomfortable calling in and you want to be like completely anonymous, you can send us a message on Instagram at This Is Awkward Podcast, and we promise not to share your name or any information about you. But if you want to call in, that's 707-200-8259.
Yes, and I am very excited for today's. I was going to say caller, but they wrote in. This person wrote in, and they wrote in with an issue with a partner who's an oversharer. They may be sharing
Yes.
a little bit too much about what's going on with their finances with other people. So
Yeah, kind of like you're oversharing your aunt and uncle's
yeah,
life, right?
I know. But I really hope this isn't the time they decide to listen to this.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, you know what? We will be back. We will be back to talk about today's message after a quick break.
Oh man. Oh, also, before we get into our break here, Gabriella is able to join us. She's the first time watching live, so welcome, Gabriella. Nice to have
Yes,
you.
welcome, Gabrielle. I'm so excited. And she says it's one of my favorite podcasts. Well, you're one of our favorite listeners.
Yes, I feel that right here. Thank you.
He's pointing to his chest.
Oh yeah, it's black.
For
you can't see
anyone
it
who's
'cause of
not, this is a
my
podcast.
chest.
Okay, let's go ahead and get into today's ad.
Go for it. Oh, am I going?
Okay.
Am I going
Yeah,
first?
you.
Sure, why not? Well, just so you all know, we have a Patreon.
Yes, we do.
And this is a way for us to be able to provide more content to those of you who are
Mm-hmm.
really enjoying the show. We created this show almost a year ago at this point, if you can believe it or not.
I
can
know.
barely believe it. It feels like it's only been a few months. Maybe it's the pandemic.
Oh,
Maybe it's
To me,
You're
to
only
me,
like-
it feels like it's been like 17 years. I'm like, it's only been a year. Are you sure? Did we do the math right on that? But
Anyways,
it is.
we originally set out to have the show only be twice a month, just because we both are working other jobs and it's difficult to have the time
Yes.
every month to do more episodes. But with your support through Patreon, we're able to do that. So we really appreciate those of you able to hop on, and we would love to have you come join us and get a few extra bonus episodes every month.
Absolutely. And what's wonderful is that there is an option for every budget, which Chris, you know I love. So Patreon memberships start at just $5 a month. And we would just love to have you. And you can get more information at patreon.com/thisisawkwardpodcast.
That would be it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead and get into today's awkward story.
Oh, yes. I'm really excited for this one. Do you want to take the reading duties today?
Yes, I will go ahead and take the reading, but unfortunately I need to make it bigger because I should probably
you're
put on my
old,
glasses too.
You know,
I'm not
you,
old.
you have glasses right on your head, but you just
I
choose
know.
not to. Just
Because
so
my
you
hair.
can.
That's because I want people to be able to see. Okay, here we go. This is. Let's dive in. Hi, Chris and Allison. I would love to hear your thoughts about my husband sharing our financial details with his parents all the time. He is constantly sharing financial details of our life, and they do the same with their life all the time. It bothers me probably because I don't like my in-laws knowing all the details of my life. Additionally, I've never had a super close relationship with my parents, so I'm not used to the close relationship that my husband has with his parents. To me, you can be close and not indulge them in your financial life, like the debt we've paid off, investments we've made, goals, savings, amount, etc. They don't do anything to hinder our goals financially when my husband tells them things, but I also just don't love to talk to them about this stuff in general, whether good or bad. How do I talk to my husband about this? Am I overreacting? Should I learn to let it go? I would like to remain anonymous.
Ooh, that's a good one. That is a
That's-
good one.
Oh, I just picture this like happy little husband who's like, can't wait to tell my mom and dad about what I did today with my money. And I know that's not how it is. Let me just say
no.
that's just immediately the thought that popped up. But I know that's not how it is because I don't know. I talk to my mom a lot about our financial life.
Ooh, I do not really talk to my parents about it.
Do you think this is Matt writing in?
He's like, I don't know how to tell Allison. I'm just going to slip it in as an awkward story.
If so, this is genius.
Yeah, I am not one to tell too many details to my family. Like I'll let them know what's going on. Or if I get like a new job, I'll tell them. But or like when we paid off debt, I told them things
Okay.
like that. But I'm not like, oh, guess how much we just spent on this. I don't want to invite the criticism, so I will keep things to myself. It's a need to know
Yeah.
basis.
I specifically tell my mom a lot of things. I mean, I guess maybe not all the numbers. Like, I don't tell her all the amount that we save every month or, I mean, goals we have. She doesn't necessarily know that. She'll know like big long-term idea goals, but not
okay.
like, here's the nitty-gritty details. So here's my question. Do you think that our anonymous person is overreacting?
No. I'd say no, and I say no for this reason. In a relationship, you can no longer just do whatever you want to do.
What?
Yeah, I know. Newsflash, Allison. Matt also told me to tell you, in a relationship, you cannot just do what you want to do. You have to be considerate. And I think that's one of the things I had to learn early on in our relationship. Not that I was telling, I didn't have the same issue, but
Yeah.
what I was dealing with was I was used to just doing whatever I want to do when I want to do it. Like if my friend calls me up and says they want to hang out, I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
Bina, I'll see you later. I'm gonna go hang out with my friends. Like I would just, and she was cool, but I could tell after a while when I would just spur of the moment. Like it's like 7:00 at night. Oh my friend said he wanted to go meet up real quick. I see you, and I'm gone. And I was like,
Yeah.
after a while, I was like, I probably shouldn't just do this. I should be more considerate. And it's one of those things that
Yeah.
you have to understand that even though, yeah, it's your money in this situation, it's also your partner's money too, assuming they're combined things together. And just because you at one point were really comfortable sharing this stuff, you kind of have to now think about the other person, and you can't
Right.
share things that they may not be comfortable with you sharing.
Yes. And she said it's not I like how she's putting in here. It likely has to do with the fact that she's just not used to that type of relationship, that type of parental relationship. They just seem to have a super close relationship.
Yeah.
And it just, that aspect, that single aspect of the relationship does make her uncomfortable. So I say she should talk to her husband about it. I think that her feelings are valid. I also don't think that she's necessarily overreacting, but I think there's also, and she asked, should I learn to let it go? And I say no, not necessarily. I think that there has to be a balance, right? There has to be a balance in what you're willing to share. So, maybe, you're able to share just more vague goals, but not the intricate details of your finances. And, I think about like with Instagram, when I first started Inspired Budget, I was like, let me share our finances, Matt. And he was like, no, this makes me uncomfortable, right? He
Slow down for a second here.
and I was like, what? Why does this make you uncomfortable? We don't make that much money. We're just two teachers. What do you care? And he said, I just don't like the intricate details being shared. And so we sat down, had a conversation, and I wasn't necessarily like thrilled with it, but I also learned to just accept and respect his boundaries. And so we have a very specific idea of what I will and will not share publicly. And he has said, what makes him comfortable, because it's not his business. It's not him sharing it. So I think that maybe it's time they sit down and talk about what are they willing to share, what's on limits and what's off limits.
Yeah. I don't know where I heard this at, but I recently heard that they describe marriage as a series of successful compromises.
Oh,
that
I like
you're
that.
constantly, because you're two different people, and you obviously grew up different ways. You have different thoughts on the way you do things. So inevitably, you're going to hit these moments where you're like, I want to do things this way, and the other person wants to do things a different way. And you're going to have to compromise. And like you said, you're not always going to be happy with the outcome. Like that may not be your preferred outcome for the situation, but for the sake of the relationship, sometimes you got to take the L sometimes.
Yes.
In order for the overall win.
Well, what's funny is I don't actually think they're always successful.
Well, yeah.
I mean, true. I think that marriage is a series of compromises. Some of them turn out well, some of them don't. You learn from them. But I would totally agree. You know, my husband says that, oh, and look, Michelle says successful compromises and gives us lots of applause. My husband and I have this thing, and we sometimes apply it to money. Other times we don't, but we say whoever feels more strongly about it, like they're the one who ultimately gets to make the decision. Because it's not often that we feel the same amount of passion for something. And I'm trying to think of an example, and I can't off the top of my head. But there have been times whenever I'm like, well, I want to do it this way. And he's like, no, I want to do it this way. And I'm very, like, he really cared a lot more than I did.
Ooh, I got an example for you.
Okay, what?
So, like, for example, for like our furniture and like layout of our home, I don't really care. Like for me, it doesn't matter. If I walked in tomorrow and the chair was over on this side and the couch was gone, like I wouldn't really care. And I caught myself like in the beginning being like, well, I want the couch over there. Why does she move it like that? Then I thought about it. I was like, do I really want to get an argument about something that I really don't care about? And she cares more about the way this is laid out than I do.
Exactly.
So there's no point in making an argument out of this. We're just gonna be angry for no reason.
Yes. And so I think that maybe what our anonymous person could do is sit down and just say, look, this is something that I'm uncomfortable with. I understand that you have a very different relationship with your parents than I have with my parents. And I think that that relationship is very special. And I don't want that relationship to change. However, as a married couple, I am uncomfortable with the details about our finances that are being shared. And I'm a more private person, right? She sounds just like my husband. Like he is more private. He doesn't like it when I share a ton of details, whereas I'm more of an open book. And so that's basically the conversation he has with me. I'm uncomfortable when you share this. You know, I'm a more private person. You know, what if all you did share was our savings goals or our goals, our financial goals, but not necessarily the details of those goals? Because some of it is just, you know, you want to keep it personal.
Yeah, exactly. I got distracted. So for those of you who are listening to the podcast and you didn't listen to you're not joining us live, we have some great people in the live stream right now. This one comes from Jeffrey. This is one of my favorite quotes. I need to get this printed out. She said, "Money is like underwear. Everyone wears it and everyone knows you have it on. But do other people really need to know what kind and style and why? It can be too intimate unless you are both okay with it." So please, someone frame that, put it on the wall somewhere.
Or cross stitch it, embroider it on a pillow. I think that would make a lovely pillow. So that's from Debt Free in West LA.
Yeah.
Right?
It's one of those things where you're right. They're going to have to sit down and come to some type of agreement about this. And it's not going to be an easy conversation because it sounds like her partner, I think this is a woman. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if this is a man or a woman. Their partner.
Well, I read it. I read it. So
okay. So
I'm going to say it's a woman.
I associated your voice with it. But
yes.
Whoever their partner is, they clearly have a history of being very open with their family. Mm-hmm. And I think you just approach it in a very sensitive way because you don't want it to. I think it's easy for this to come off as I'm attacking you and your family and I don't like your relationship versus I'm just not comfortable with these details. So I think it's important to come with a very kind of like open heart, very calm and understanding. So that way it doesn't, because people, when someone's telling you not to do something, it's so easy to take like offense to this. For good reason. You know, someone's telling you not to do something you've always done and you have to come in a very kind and approachable way to get the conversation started.
And then also realize that it's going to take time. Well, I don't know. I guess I could say it's going to take time for that change to happen. Maybe if that's what he or she has been doing for all of these years, or he has been doing for all of these years, that might be ingrained in him. And it might take time for him to even know that he is crossing a boundary that you might have previously set. So let's say you do sit down, have this conversation, you lay out clear boundaries. He's going to probably go and cross those boundaries. And then that's when you have another conversation and you say, okay, these were the boundaries that we set, you know, and you cross them and you did overshare where I'm not comfortable, and remember what we agreed upon, because it's going to be a balance and it's going to be a compromise.
Oh yeah, that's a great point, because you're right. with something so delicate as this, and something that, I mean, it's not like it's don't say this one detail. There's going to be so many.
Right.
Your life is so complicated. There's going to be all these aspects that may or may not fall into that category. And for our writer, the person who wrote this situation in, they're going to have to be okay, like you said, with kind of coming back and revisiting this conversation multiple times and saying, okay, I appreciate you trying. This was an instance where I wasn't comfortable with this, because you're right. This is not like a one-time thing. You can't just cross this off the list and say, well, we're done for life. See ya.
Exactly. And I think, like, even with me, when I was talking about how sometimes I will overshare, I have a tendency to want to overshare on Instagram, you know, with the internet, with the world. And sometimes I'll even go to my husband first and I'll say, I want to share this. Is this oversharing? Like, remind me of our boundaries. And he'll be like, no, that's okay. Or yes, it is. Just because I sometimes as the person who wants to overshare, I sometimes need to be reminded of the boundaries. However, I easily receive the boundaries. So I'm not like angry when we talk about them or anything like that. So hopefully your husband won't be angry.
Yeah. And I love this comment here from Michelle. She said, it's goals versus details.
Yes.
And I think that's a good way of breaking it out. You can say, you can talk about, how about you can share our goals, what we're hoping to do, the things we would love to see happen, the things that we want to pay off. Like maybe keep it in very general but broad, like terms of what you're going towards, but you don't need to tell them how much money is in your checking account. Like that can be private. Exactly.
I agree. Like, we want to pay off our car versus our car payment has $12,147.56, and we're going to pay off an extra $1,200 every single month, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not necessary.
Don't need to go there.
Yeah. Okay.
So I hope that helps. Do you have any closing remarks, Allison? Do you have a closing statement?
I don't. Just, I guess my closing statement would I feel like I'm in the courtroom or something.
Please approach the bench and give your closing argument.
I guess what I would say is, just as the person who's probably might be dropping this bomb, right? He might see it as this bomb being dropped as like, what? This is what I've always done. To just be calm and just say, yeah, it is what you've always done, but you're no longer alone. You know, this is us together. And I feel uncomfortable. So what I'm asking is that we find a way to find a balance with what we are sharing so that we are both comfortable in the amount that, you know, we're sharing with your parents.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's a great way to do it. That's a very heartfelt, open, honest way. And I think that's a good way to avoid this blowing up. Because it can easily hit that tipping point where this goes to a place where you don't want to be with this conversation.
Yeah, and if it does, just say, you know what, I think we need to table this conversation for another time. My intention was not to get in an argument, so let's take a moment to take a break and come back to this.
Yeah, I love it.
So okay.
Anonymous, thank you so much for sharing that story with us, and hopefully this helped. We know it's probably not going to be easy, but we really hope the best, and that you can end up with a great conversation and find that compromise, that middle ground that you're both going to be happy with. But please write in and let us know. We would love to know what happens after you have this conversation.
That's one of our favorite things, is whenever people write in and then they give us feedback on what they were able to do based off of like some advice, or when they share like, well, this is what really ended up happening. That's some of our favorite things. So please, Anonymous, let us know.
So we are going to take a quick break. But when we come back, we're coming back for Allison's all-time favorite segment.
Yes.
As I say, the only reason she shows up to do this podcast, she gets through this part just so she can get to
No, that's not true. You make it sound like I hate this other part. No, this is like the cherry on top for me.
This is the
right?
dessert.
Yeah, this is the cherry on top of it. I don't really. No.
You don't like that analogy?
Anyway, we'll be back right after this quick break. Okay.
Oh, man.
This episode is brought to you by a free training that my friend Abby Ashley is putting on, and you can get to it. It's all about how to become a booked out virtual assistant. And if you don't know what a virtual assistant is, let me tell you. Chris and I share a virtual assistant. She is incredible. Chris, would you agree? Would you agree that
she's incredible?
She's incredible. Basically, she works virtually for us and she does different tasks for us and we pay her. I don't care when she works. She works on her own schedule and she doesn't work a ton, but she's able to earn money and really supplement her other income by working as a VA. And so this free training is run by my friend Abby, who helps women become booked out VAs and earn up to even like $100,000 a year as a virtual assistant, where you get to make your own hours and work from home. So if you want to get access to that free training, you can go to inspirebudget.com/virtual-assistant, or it'll be in the show notes below. And in it, you're going to learn how you can earn money, like exactly what you're going to be doing, what paying clients like me and Chris are actually looking for in a VA, right, Chris?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yeah, because I mean,
nothing
okay, yes, how, like what they're actually looking for, and then how to actually find the clients that are waiting for your services. Because one of the biggest things is, once you know you want to do it, how do you actually find people that are going to pay you consistently, pay you well, and give you the work that you desire? So this free training lines it all up for you, shares with you about how to become a booked out virtual assistant or VA.
Yeah, and I love this because there's so many horrible scams on the internet about how you can make money. Yes. All these multi-level marketing schemes.
Yeah.
All this, sell these oils, make your friends buy this health powder. Like there's all these things that people make you.
So when you said oil, I was thinking like gasoline, like oil. Like what?
Like you're going to the plant and getting a barrel of
oil. Yeah, I was like, what scams are you getting?
I'm talking about like the essential oils.
Okay.
But anyways, besides scamming your friends to buy barrels of oil, there's all this other stuff. But this is a legit way to use some of your free time and skills that you have to actually do work for people that'll be meaningful, and you can do it on your own time. Because I'm tired of seeing scams, and I'm very happy to see things that are legit ways for people to make some side income.
Like, I cannot tell you, I wish I had known about this whenever I had, was young teacher wanting to make extra money to pay off debt. And I did side hustles outside of the house. And I remember thinking, I want to make more money because I'm a teacher, but I don't want to leave the house, but I can't do anything that won't let me leave the house. So I did things like photography. I did tutoring. I taught summer school. I would have rather have made money sitting on my sofa, sitting in my kids' playroom, getting up early or working late at night and being able to be home with my children and make legit money and like make good money, like $20 or $25 an hour, rather than have left and done all those things. So I feel like I'm not like mad that I didn't know about this sooner. But I'm a little bit like jealous that I didn't. Like, I'm like jealous of the people that get to do it. I wish I would have known about it. Yeah, because it's actually legit. Oh, and Michelle just says it's a good training. She signed up for it. It really is good. And it's just such a wonderful option. And people ask me, do you need to do it full time? And no, my VA only works for me 6 hours a week. How much does she work for you?
Yeah, maybe like 1 to 2 hours.
Exactly.
So not much.
But when she has several clients that are paying her well, and she might be working 20 hours a week, that's good money. So anyway, the link should be in the show notes whenever this post goes live, or you can go to inspirebudget.com/virtual-assistant.
Allison. It's time.
Chris, it's time. And I'm so excited about this.
Oh, it's time for your favorite segment. I'll let you do the introduction because you always do it so much better than me. I don't have the energy to replicate what you do when you introduce this segment.
Thank you for the kind compliment. So this is what I'm loving. If you're new around here, this is whenever Chris and I share something that is bringing us joy, something that is lifting our spirits, something that we want to share with you so that way you can have a little bit of extra joy too. Because let's be honest, 2021 hasn't been super impressive just yet. So we want to give you extra things that you can look forward to help just make this year a little bit better.
Oh, I feel the energy. I got another boost. I'm going to be awake for an extra 5 minutes now.
Wow.
That's about it. Allison, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I do want to go first. I'm actually looking up what I'm going to be talking about right now. So what I am loving is someone on Instagram. Usually we come in here and we share like products or sometimes we share books, TV shows, things like that. I am loving someone that I have been following on Instagram for, oh my gosh, over a year, maybe longer. And I look forward to consuming everything she does. And that is Nicole Walters. Chris, do you know who Nicole Walters is?
I do know who Nicole Walters is. I met her once.
You got to meet Nicole Walters?
Like 3 or 4 years ago at a conference. Yeah, I mean, briefly. I mean, she's not gonna, if she saw me again, she'd have no idea who I was, but I did meet her briefly.
Oh my gosh, you're so lucky. I didn't know. Well, Nicole Walters, you can follow her on Instagram, which is where I follow her, at Nicole Walters. She actually has a TV show coming out at the end of February. It's going to be on Hulu or like USA. I don't know. I don't have cable.
Those are
it's going to be on
things,
Hulu.
So
Hulu. It's going to be on Hulu though. She says it's going to be on Hulu. But she runs a wildly successful business, which is how I originally found her. But she is just so incredibly down to earth. She's funny. I love following her family. She shares just so many amazing things. Very uplifting. If you are not following Nicole Walters, go follow her now. And I think she went viral whenever she posted, and it was like on Facebook, or maybe it was, what was that app that was video streaming that went away?
Periscope?
Maybe it was Periscope. I don't remember. She
Vine?
went somewhere, Vine or Facebook, and she called up her corporate job and quit and videotaped it, the conversation of her telling her boss, I'm done. And to start her own business essentially. And she's just a light. She is a light in sometimes this dark world. I think she's fabulous. She also has a podcast. So if you're listening to this podcast, she has the Nicole Walters podcast, which is wonderful as well. So anyway, that's what I'm loving. I'm loving the fact that she is part of my Instagram feed. And I really try to, inside my Instagram feed, which I consume a lot just as a business owner, I'm in Instagram a lot, and I have to be very strategic about who I follow, because I only want to allow something that's going to be uplifting and make my day better and make me think in a very positive way. I only want to allow that into my Instagram feed. I don't want to allow what I call poison into my Instagram feed.
Well, I mean, I follow her as well, and she is very, very, like I said, very uplifting, very like, you're just like, oh, look at her, just smiling, and she's just like, she makes you feel good watching her videos. So I second this recommendation.
And she's just very down to earth. Like, she doesn't try to act like someone she's not, which I think a lot of people on Instagram do. They try to just only show up a certain way, and she's not like that. She shows up always.
Yeah, she's real. She's like, hey, this is how I'm looking today.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that's what I'm loving. What are you loving, Chris?
Ooh, okay. So before I get into what I'm loving, Michelle said she's loving our podcast. So I just got to throw it up there.
That's sweet. I love it. Thank you, Michelle.
For me, I have to do this lead up. And before I get into it, let me put it on the screen for you, because one of my favorite things on the show is when you try to guess what it is that I'm loving. Because
like WandaVision?
It is always so horrible that it's hilarious.
Okay.
But the lead up to this is, I know we were both Disney Channel kids. Like, we weren't on the Disney Channel, but we watched the Disney Channel.
Yes, we did. And neither of our spouses did.
So you may be a little familiar with this person. So what I'm loving is Kim Possible Cooks. This is not what it's called at all, but this is the only way I can think of describing this.
Kim Possible Cooks. Kim Possible. Was this some sort of like a superhero?
She was kind of like a crime fightery. I don't know what you would call her. She
Kim
had like
Possible
a black
Cooks.
shirt.
Okay. I think, was it an illustration? Like, it wasn't live. It was animated.
It was a cartoon.
Red hair?
Yes.
Red hair. I remember Kim Possible. I don't think I watched it much. Do you remember Alex Mack, where she would go into a puddle? Okay, anyway. That was her super.
No idea what that is.
Okay. Anyway, I think that you are liking, I think that this is a cooking. I don't think it's YouTube, because I don't think you consume enough YouTube. I think that this is, no, I take it back. You had this look in your eyes like,
oh, did I give it away?
Getting it wrong. I think this is a YouTube channel. I know what it is. You have been posting a lot of pictures of desserts on Instagram that you are making at home. lately. Lots of powdered sugar pastries. So I think this is a YouTube channel where you are following recipes from this woman, and she might be making you gain weight.
So one, you're calling me fat, but also you
I'm
said
not
cooking. So I mean, I guess it's like a compliment and an insult in there. I don't know.
It's not. I'm not calling you fat. I think that if you continue to eat all of those things, you might gain weight and not move your body. Because you even mentioned it one time. You said, I'm making all of these and my doctor asked me why my cholesterol is so high and I don't know what to tell him. And you put a picture of all of these really tasty looking things and it was powdered sugar was sprinkled all on it. And I thought I should live near Chris because then I could walk over and get some of that and hang out with him and Vina.
You're in the ballpark. You're in the vicinity. Okay, so one, no, I have not been cooking anything because I don't know how
It's
to
Vina's cooking.
It's my wife making all that stuff. She's learning it from YouTube, but not from this person.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a YouTube channel by the woman who voiced Kim Possible.
Okay.
Who also was, did you ever watch a show called Even Stevens?
Yes.
She's the older sister from that.
Okay.
So that's
okay.
So I don't know how YouTube just recommends you the most random things. Like I don't know why I get recommended like 90%
They
of
just
the
know
stuff
you're
I
a
see.
millennial.
They're just like,
who
oh, look at this.
watched way too much TV.
You want some nostalgia? Here you go. So she has this show. Like I guess she already had a YouTube channel, but then she has this like segment on her channel where she cooks with other Disney Channel stars. Like they're all old, they're all grown up now. Like who are like these people who are like on That's So Raven and like those
I
Disney
love
Channel
That's
movies.
So Raven.
Like what was the one? There was one called like Brink. There's one where there's a guy that's like surfing. There's one where I think it was called like Zenith in the 20-something century. I forgot what it. There's like all
Oh,
these
I
Disney-
remember that.
Remember that?
What do you call
Space.
it? Space. But I was going to say something else. Outer space. No, I wasn't going to say that. Astrology. I don't know what I was going to say.
Oh man. So yes.
Okay,
She
so
brings
anyway.
on all these people who were on the Disney Channel, like back in the day when she was, which would have been like what, like the late '90s when we were probably watching it, mid to late '90s.
We're really giving away our age here.
And it is so interesting, and like it just draws me in because I'm like, is that they're a grown adult now? I remember like I guess because we're all like roughly the same
They
age.
didn't freeze in this.
Freeze in time. It was just so weird seeing someone be like, someone you saw as a kid on TV, like as a grown adult, and they're just like in there like chatting it up, talking about what it was like being on the Disney Channel and like being in these different like TV shows and movies. And I don't know why I found this. I don't know why I continued to watch it, but it was something that I was like, it grabbed me, and I was like, this is actually pretty interesting. I think I found what I'm loving.
Do you cook the things that she's
no,
doing?
Not at all. I don't make any attempt. I mean, it's more. I'd say it's like more entertainment than it is a cooking show. Like, I mean, they're showing you what they're doing, but I would place this more in the entertainment than the cooking show.
I have a question.
Yes. Okay.
On average, per week, how much TV do you consume?
Not that much.
Or
these
just
days.
in a
It's been,
day?
it's
I guess
been
you've been
harder.
really busy.
Yeah, I've been working a lot. So I'd say maybe an hour a day. I might get an hour a day.
Okay.
On the weekends, it jumps up. But during
Yeah.
the week, it's maybe an hour.
Okay.
Some days it's nothing. Some days it's an hour. Just depends. I mean, when I'm not watching Star Wars stuff, then I can squeeze in some of those other things. So
That makes sense. Okay. Well, I'll have to check it out.
So
and
people
by
actually
I'll have
watch
to
it.
check it out.
I'll let you
I
know what her actual YouTube channel name it is. I took a screenshot. Oh, her name is Christy Carlson Romano. I was never going to remember that.
Well,
So
I
that's
wouldn't
how
have
you
guessed it.
That's how you will find it. Not under Kim Possible Cooks.
Kim
If you want to
Possible.
check it out. That's where you can find it.
I love it. Okay, Chris, guess what? Now it's your favorite segment.
Yes. The reason why I show up.
Other
for the
than
listener.
to hang out with me, right?
I mean, I guess you're here. Yeah, you too. You're fine.
Thanks.
You're
You're so kind.
You're cool.
Thanks. Okay.
But
You
what
go
we're
ahead
really
and
here for
share
is
our thing. Yes.
The listener shout out so I don't insult you anymore, Allison.
I appreciate it.
This is where we get to thank you, the people who are listening, like the people who are joining us right now, the people who are downloading the podcast, leaving us great reviews.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate all of you. You're the reason why we keep making the show, because if not, this would just be us randomly recording a conversation. So
Absolutely. Can you shout out some of the people that are watching this live? Just pick a couple people and can you shout them out? I know I don't
most
have
definitely
access
can.
to see that.
Yeah, so we have, I'm looking like an old person here. We have, we said Debt Free in West LA. We have Michelle.
Yes.
We have Claudia.
Hi, Claudia.
Angie. One of our patrons. Yeah, so we have a great group of people here, so we appreciate you all joining us.
Okay, but today's listener shout out is specifically from an Apple Podcast review.
And
do you want to read that one?
5 stars.
5 stars.
Our preferred number of stars when it comes to a review. We just wanted to put that out there.
Yes.
You know, Apple doesn't make you only leave 5 stars.
But we really like it when you leave 5 stars.
Yeah, we would prefer that. You know, we just want to throw that out there.
Totally agree.
One, it comes from, it's WitRob3. He wrote, I think this is, I'm assuming his name is Rob, so I'm going to say he wrote, Allison and Chris are both so funny. This podcast has been such a great way to learn how to deal with some awkward money situations you can find yourself in. So with Rob3, thank you so much. We really appreciate that. That's what we're hoping we're doing on the show.
I hope so. You know, when I was reading it, I thought it was short for Whitney and Rob.
You know, it could be. You know, okay.
It could be.
It could be Whitney and Rob. It could be a couple's Apple iTunes account.
Could be. So, well, Chris.
Whitney or Rob and Whitney. We appreciate it.
We made it. Chris. We made it to the end of another episode. And it wasn't awkward.
No, it wasn't that awkward at all. I mean, you didn't even drink any caffeine.
I have not I did not do my caffeine run. That's what I was forgetting. I have water, but
you're drinking water? Hold on, can we just stop at the point that you're so if you don't know, Allison doesn't believe in water.
I don't know.
She believes water is just an ingredient in Coke Zero.
No,
you can't actually drink that by itself.
I do. Like, I don't share this much on Instagram because, you know, boundaries, right? And I get lots of messages from people that like to think that they're doctors and they tell me what to do with my health. But they're just people that have too many opinions. And anyway, anytime I show how much caffeine I consume in a day, I always get messages all the time.
You do drink a lot of caffeine. Allison.
I do. I don't drink as much as I used to when I was a teacher. When I was a teacher, I drank a lot. And one time, did I ever tell you the story about what I did? Where I was drinking my coffee and I taught 5th grade. So you have like a whole bunch of, 10 and 11-year-olds, which are the best age, if you ask me. I had my coffee and a mom brought me a huge Sonic, like huge size Coke Zero. And my students thought, and I thought it would be really fun if at 8:30 in the morning, I took a straw in both of them and I drank them at the same time. And I did it. And I was hyper.
I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all.
I didn't like it either, but I did. I tried it, so it worked. But yes, speaking of which, actually,
are you getting a delivery live on the air?
Thank you. You're the best.
You know it is like 10 o'clock over there, isn't it?
It's 9:15.
You're never going to sleep. That's what's going to happen.
This is what I do on the nights we record. I just sacrifice my sleep for a little bit. Okay. Anyway. You made it awkward when you talked about your aunt and your uncle making out in your bathroom.
Thanks for bringing it full circle. Enjoy your Coke Zero. I will not enjoy the memories of watching that happen in my parents' house when I was little, and we will get you next episode.
Yes. And if you want to call in and leave, if you want to call in and leave a message, whether it's just an awkward money situation that you're in right now or you've been in the past, you can call and leave a voicemail. You don't have to actually talk to us. The number is 707-200-8259, or you can send us a DM on Instagram at This Is Awkward Podcast, and we would love to have you on our show. Okay, Chris. We need to go record a bonus episode for our Patreon. That's right.
We got to get to our patron bonus show. Let's see. We got a few comments in here. Let's see. Oh, Gabriella says she loved watching it live. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for sticking with us.
Thank you. See, we're recording this live on a Monday, and I think that it's the best way to end a long Monday.
I think so. Yeah, because we're all going to be sad. Like the weekend's over. We got to go back to work. But no, look at this.
Yeah, nice something to look forward to.
Let all the stress of the first day back.
Absolutely. Hyper teacher equals.
Is that how that works? Is that normally how the rule works?
So Michelle wrote hyper teacher equals no homework. I love it. It works as in hyper teacher equals less classwork in class. So they were very encouraging of it.
So all I had to do was bring my teacher some caffeine, and I could have got out of so much work.
Well,
I'm tips you wish you would know.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. So
Claudia says hi. She's here. Make sure I didn't miss anyone along the way here. Oh, then Angie, of course. Oh, yeah. So Angie, yes. She is one of our new patrons. So thank you. I really appreciate it. We also have a Discord as well where you can hop in and we can chat with you during the week. You can let us know if you got any weird, awkward stuff you want us to talk about. Or we've recently been asking if there's anything that you want us to revisit. So if you join us on Patreon, you can message us and let us know if there's any past episode you're like, I want to know more. Because we do get feedback or like updates from the people who've left us messages. So we can kind of hear how things are going, if it's going well. If it's going badly, we hope well. Most of them have been well. I think most of them have been positive as far as what we've heard back after the fact.
Yes, our last Patreon episode, which actually hasn't come out yet, has it?
No,
if you're
it comes
watching
out this
live.
Wednesday.
If you're watching live, that episode comes out, and we are revisiting the past episode from the friend who was a bad tipper, and they had to drive all the way home together after she tipped for her friend, and it was super uncomfortable. So we have an update on, are they friends still? What ended up happening? Is she a good tipper now? I mean, lots to know. Like, is this a friendship breaker? And I share a time in my life where I had a best friend who could have left me for doing something really stupid, but she stuck by my side.
I love that
stuck
story.
by my side.
That one, I don't, after hearing that, I don't know if I would have been your friend either, at least for a little while.
I don't think you would, because you don't have as good of a heart as she does.
Yeah,
okay.
That'll be this Wednesday. Yeah, this Wednesday in the Patreon feed.
Yes. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and start our next episode.
Yeah, so thank you everyone for joining us. We're going to hop out of here and record this bonus episode, which will be coming out 2 weeks from now. This bonus one. This one you just heard will be coming out next Wednesday on the main feed. So yeah, thank you all. We really appreciate you all sticking with us, and it was a lot of fun having people in here commenting.
Yeah, it is fun. I wish I could see all the comments.
I know you can't see. That's what happens when I can't trust you to run technology, so I have to run all the comments on this side.
This is very smart of you. This is very wise choice. Very wise choice. Okay, thanks for joining us.
All right, we'll see you all later.